uprzejmie zapytujemy, kiedy pan minister opracuje normy zanieczyszczeń dla środowiska odnośnie zanieczyszczeń gazami.
Można wyciągnąć
Ustawa antyodorowa powstaje.
na 3 lata, tak jak on
Ja powiedziałem, że nie.
Could you please tell us what are your concerns?
Pierwszy problem to jest koncentracja przemysłu szkodliwego dla środowiska, a więc przemysłowe fermy tuczu, zakłady utylizacyjne.
Hi, we're here tonight at Channel 4. We're screening the premiere of Pig Business, which was made and produced by Tracy Worcester, who we're going to be talking to later. We've also got Goldsmith, one of London's leading environmentalists. We've got Sabrina Guinness and a lot of other familiar faces. Let's ask them what they think about the film.
The hogs dump their feces and urine on the floor. It goes under the hog house out to a lagoon. I mean, there are no beautiful women in bathing suits by any of these lagoons. But it goes out to the lagoon and then they slop it on the field. And it's full of nitrogen. It's basically untreated waste.
We need to understand how bad the consequences of industrial agriculture are to small farming communities, to human health and to environmental health. And we all need to go on a journey of reconnection with these issues. So watch the film.
How do you really get the world economy to think your way? And I think that unless people realise it's health and taste, and also it's inhumane.
What was fantastic about Tracy's film was it tied together the two issues, that this is about social injustice as well as about the fact that we're eating rotten food and we are destroying our planet.
People who probably are never going to lose a lot of sleep about animal welfare, but they are going to get very upset if they think that their own health or the health of their children is threatened by a product.
Thank you, Tracy, and I think you are the real star tonight, and I want to thank you sincerely for the animals, for the people that are affected by this, and for the environment. Thank you for having the balls to make this film.
The one thing that we all agree on here is that to bring farming back to farmers. Clearly, they're the heroes of our society. I mean, they feed us, and yet they've been treated like they're nothing. And their livelihoods, their families, everything's been destroyed by these, corporate factory farming.
The key thing this film does is it shows the lie behind the idea that some of the food we eat is cheap. This idea of cheap food is only cheap because we've absolutely failed to look at the cost, to account for the costs, the cruelty, environmental pollution, the health, the effect on livelihoods, the fact that hundreds of thousands of people around the world are being pushed aside in order to make way for a new kind of agriculture which produces what we call cheap food, which is nothing of the sort.
One of the greatest horrors is obviously the power that corporations have to subvert local legal systems, national governments. You saw senior cabinet ministers in the Polish government on that film tonight absolutely powerless to resist the corporations just trampling over the environmental laws, throwing people out of work, completely destroying the culture of rural Poland.
I'm really, really grateful that 20 NGOs are taking on this film and are going to be pushing it forward through their members and having local screenings. And the real star here is Compassion in World Farming, who's very kindly sponsored today.
64 billion animals are produced. The majority of them are in factory farms. We're banning barren battery cages for laying hens. My organisation was instrumental in getting a ban on sow stalls. They're the crates that you saw in the film, where the sows in this country previously could not turn around for the whole of their 3 months, 3 weeks and 3 days of their pregnancy. That system was banned in 1999, but it's not banned in other countries in Europe.
Films are a drama, they're a real-life drama. They can grab people's attention to the extent that they walk away kind of converted, kind of saying, I will now do things differently. Not only that, I'll tell my friends. And, you can see the effect of campaigning films. They affect the market, they affect people's behaviour. And I think that this film of Tracy's will do those things.
I think this film should be seen by everyone. It should be seen by policymakers, it should be seen by corporate companies, it should be seen by the general public. Anyone who is involved in buying food or selling food needs to see this film. We have to stop factory farming. We have to stop this animal cruelty. We have to stop these public health threats. We have to stop this environmental degradation.
There is a sort of Murphy's Law here, which is that something at some point is going to give in the most unpleasant way. And you may well not see it coming. And looking at Tracy's film, you see all sorts of practices there that make you simply fear what happens when they take this to the next level. What happens when this cocktail of polluting chemicals and antibiotics starts getting through into the drinking water or whatever it might be. But it feels like a health disaster waiting to happen as well.
We cannot any longer treat each of these disparate areas of breakdown as single issues. We've got to join together. Single issues is shifting chairs on the Titanic. We have to look at the root cause, the corporate takeover, reclaim our food economy, have small farmers, small retailers and small distributors, get our shops back, have quality food.
We believe if those imports continue as stall and tether produced pig meat, then we believe it should be labelled, and not just labelled in an obscure way, but labelled in a way which says this product has been produced in ways which are illegal in the UK.
It's the supermarket's fault that their labelling is so rubbish, because it's their labelling. And their labelling is terrible, as we saw from the film. It's impossible to get the salient information from a pork product or a chicken product as to what country it comes from and what system it's been raised in. And how hard need that be? Because we know what the systems are, there are regulations, there are labels, and yet everything is done to obfuscate the truth behind the product.
I think we need to see real action from politicians. It's not just about consumers going out and spending their money wisely, it's about calling for proper change. That means looking out for our small farmers, looking out for our farm base in this country, raising standards, and actually putting the brakes on what is effectively a corporate takeover of the global food system. And it's nothing short of that.
We need a new American revolution in this country now to fight against the corporate feudalism that we are now dealing with, that is embodied so much by this industry, that is eroding everything and subverting everything that we care about in our democracy.